little too much drama last week at Texas Motor Speedway. Off the track. On the track, it was Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr., and that was about it. Off the track, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano. Joey Logano is really on a hot streak this season. He's really got his nose to the grindstone since taking over a ride with Roger Penske. Looking pretty good. Controversial, a little too aggressive maybe. Hey, he's only 22. He's doing a good job. Started dead last at Texas because of that, whatever that NASCAR rear end flap was, charged up to 5th. That's pretty good in my book. Greg Keselowski, well, you heard his rant. He's not too happy with NASCAR right now, and I gotta say that I'm not too happy with NASCAR either. I don't know what they're doing. They're off message half the time, it seems like. We went to the White House on Tuesday with Brad Keselowski and meeting President Obama. I know it was a bad week for the president, bad week for a lot of people. But still, we had that one bright spot, and NASCAR managed to screw that up by doing whatever they did with the rear end gears at Texas, and I still don't know why it took 3 days to figure out they didn't like the rear end gear in the 2 and the 22. That's a whole nother story we're going to dig into a little bit here. And I'm sure there'll be some appeals, and Paul Wolf, the crew chief for Keselowski, and Todd Gordon, the crew chief for Joey, may not be around for the next 6 weeks. They're going to be here this weekend because Roger's appealing the fines, $100,000, 25 points, 6-week suspensions. I tell you, NASCAR, when it cracks heavy, it cracks heavy. Took out the entire engineering staff for both teams. That's not good. I'm not thinking that's good for the sport. NASCAR used to be a benevolent dictatorship. That's the way Billy Jr. liked to describe it, and Big Bill, his father. The current regime, I don't see a lot of benevolence out there. I see a lot of hard hammering on people for no real good reason in my book. It's just my opinion. Mike Mullen from MikeMullen.net. Kansas Speedway could be an entirely different race than last week's Texas race. Smooth track. The track is incredibly smooth since it was repaved. It doesn't give up much grip. It doesn't have much banking. It's not as much banking as Texas. Texas was 24 degrees in the corners. This place is variable banking, 17 to 20 degrees. And the tires here will not wear out. These are going to be long-lasting tires with a very thin gauge, and the drivers say it's going to be fast. Carl Edwards said when he tested out here, 207 to 209 into the corners on a 1.5 mile track. To me, I'm thinking that's too fast. You saw at Texas how fast it was there. The drivers were breathless about that. Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, they were both breathless. And I'm thinking that the car, this new car, the 213, is so aerodynamic that they need to slow it down. Aero, clean air made a heck of a difference at Texas. You saw that when Kyle was out front, he could run away. Martin couldn't catch him. When Martin was out front, Kyle couldn't catch him. Two best cars in the field, too much aero. We need to slow the cars down about 20 miles an hour, and I think we're going to see the same thing out here. And what are we going to see at the end of the race? Probably another gas mileage race. Have we had one of those yet this year? I'm trying to remember. We'll have to go through the books and see. Right now, Friday, Kansas. Let's see who's fast. Me, I like Kasey Kahne. The Rick Hendrick bunch, they got this 213 down pat. Mike Mullen for MikeMullen.net.